Good evening, I'm Taylor Thomas with the CTV News Update. Greenbelt police are looking for a teenage male who fired gunshots at another group of juveniles. It happened yesterday afternoon around 4:20 near the intersection of Spring Hill Road and Spring Hill Lane, a few blocks away from an elementary school. The victim says he was walking home with another middle school group of kids when they were fired upon. Thankfully, no one was injured. Investigators say the alleged shooter is 13 to 14 years old, 5 feet 4 inches tall, with curly brown hair. He was wearing a black hoodie with khaki pants.
So the Greenbelt Police Department has increased patrols at the time that school starts and also at the time that school's let out. So there will be an increased police presence for children in order to make sure they're feeling safe when they arrive and leave from school.
Anyone who may have information is asked to call Greenbelt Police at 301-474-7200. The county executive responds to criticism about her youth curfew. The county-wide curfew for juveniles under the age of 17 begins tomorrow. It will run for 30 days and require young people to be at home and off the streets by 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday. In a statement posted on Twitter, Alsobrooks said, quote, "The first measure our officers will take, if required, is to educate youth on the curfew and tell them to go home." Meantime, State Delegate Alonzo Washington today had this reaction to Alsobrooks' plan.
Curfews are great and cool, but I don't think it's enough. We need to do more for our young people to make sure that they have the resources that they need.
So when you talk about wraparound services, what do you mean?
I mean things like a teen center, which the city of Hyattsville is going to build, make sure there's more youth services, mental health services that are available for students.
Again, the youth curfew takes effect tomorrow. The British monarch has passed away. The announcement of the passing of Queen Elizabeth II came just after 1:35 this afternoon. Queen Elizabeth II, who was the longest-running monarch, served for 70 years. She was 96 years old. Many had grown concerned after the royal family released news that she was under medical supervision. She died peacefully at her family home in Scotland with her relatives at her side. Flags at Buckingham Palace are being flown at half-staff. Prince Charles is now the King of England. Here are the latest COVID-19 numbers for our area. The Maryland Department of Health has confirmed 890 new cases. The county's positivity rate is at 11%. 7 Marylanders have died over the past 24 hours, and 524 people are hospitalized. Police are asking for the public's help in locating a missing senior citizen. 74-year-old Errol Harris was last seen on Tuesday at 7:30 a.m. in the 300 block of Garrett Morgan Boulevard in Landover. Harris is 5 feet 9, 150 pounds, and was last seen wearing a red plaid shirt and dark jeans. He was also driving a silver Lexus with Maryland plates. If you see him, police ask that you call 911. You're watching CTV News. I'm Taylor Thomas. Coming up, an advocacy group calls for a new center in Prince George's for persons re-entering society. More on that story when we return.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Police tonight are asking for the public's help in solving a cold case. 2 years ago this week, 21-year-old Peyton Marshall was found shot to death in a car. It was September 7th, 2020, in the 1800 block of Meseraught Road in Adelphi. Marshall from Woodbridge, Virginia, was found around 5:30 in the evening. Anyone with information about this cold case is asked to call Crime Solvers at 1-866-411-TIPS. Progressive Maryland has started a grassroots campaign to get a residential reentry center established in Prince George's County. The centers are places where individuals in prison are assigned to spend the last few months of their sentence in order to begin the process of reentry into the community. Prince George's is one of a few jurisdictions that does not have one of these halfway houses.
It's a time when people can start getting their IDs, start looking for housing, start looking for jobs before their actual release. And the absence of one in Prince George's has meant it simply delays people in their process of reentry. To give myself as an example, I was in the halfway house in Hope Village in Washington, D.C., right? So while there, I had to get a DC ID, register for jobs in DC, do all these things in DC. The minute I was done with that, it was there for 5 months. The day that was done, all that was of no use to me because I live in Prince George's County.
Progressive Maryland says it's hopeful that when the newest council members are sworn in, that the center will become a reality in the county. Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks launches a Youth Leadership Institute modeled after Mayor for a Day programs across the country. The institute will immerse youth in county government and community service. The year-long experience will give youth an opportunity to weigh in on important policies and legislations to help improve the lives of young people in Prince George's County. For more information on the program, visit mypgc.us/AYLI. Applications are due by October the 14th. And an old bank in Hyattsville will soon be transformed into the city's new police building. The city of Hyattsville broke ground on a new police and public safety headquarters this morning. This is the old regional bank located in the 3500 block of Hamilton Street. The plan is to redesign the property into a state-of-the-art facility, which will include community meeting spaces, training areas for officers, and mental health services for residents. City leaders say the project will cost a whopping $20 million.
The city purchased this building more than a decade ago. We did not know at that time that this would be the future police and public safety building. So you can imagine that we are excited because it is going to be adapted to become the home of our brave men and women who serve, support, and protect our city.
This new building will provide us strong foundations for serving the community's needs, building stronger relationships, and supporting officer training and wellness. With this new state-of-the-art police and public safety headquarters, we will be able to better meet our community's needs by connecting social service professionals and other stakeholders in need of walk-in care or referrals to local support services.
City leaders say the new headquarters is set to be completed in 18 months. After a nearly 3-year hiatus due to COVID-19, Jehovah Witnesses are returning to their signature door-to-door knocking. For over 100 years, Jehovah Witnesses have continued the practice to share their teachings through 2 world wars and economic depression and global unrest. It wasn't until COVID-19 hit the world in 2020 that they had to make the difficult decision for safety of all to go virtual. But that's changed, and they're back to what they do best, says Brewer Eric Tiafoe.
Because preaching door to door, being able to talk to your neighbors, give them a smile, and share this positive message, there's just nothing like it. We're very glad to be back doing that. The online means, the virtual means, they are not going away.
There are currently over 120,000 congregations globally. For more information, you can go to jw.org. A former employee of the Maryland office of the comptroller is facing federal charges for allegedly threatening to murder a member of Congress. 39-year-old Justin Kuchta is accused of sending the messages over the internet to congressional offices in Texas and Washington, D.C. He allegedly used his work computer to send the threats. If convicted, he faces up to 5 years in federal prison. Coming up, Francis Tiafoe has a lifelong history with the College Park Tennis Center. We'll hear from fans and supporters right after the break. Stay with us.
I never graduated from high school. I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
An Oxon Hill man will spend the next 95 years behind bars. Kaim King was sentenced Wednesday for the double murder of 26-year-old Davion Brandon and 28-year-old Antonio Walker. The incident happened back in June of 2019. Officers on patrol discovered the victims in a car in the 1900 block of Rochelle Avenue in District Heights. Both men were suffering from gunshot wounds. Officials say the shooting happened after King filmed a music video. King was found guilty of 2 counts of second-degree murder along with other charges. Apple has unveiled the newest version of their iPhone. There are now 4 new iPhones, 3 watches, and an updated AirPod. The iPhone 14 and 14 Plus feature larger screens, 6.1 inches and 6.7 inches respectively. The phones also have a longer battery life and a new camera system and software that stabilizes your video when you're moving and recording. By the way, the iPhone 14 Pro has the capability to detect if you've been in a car crash and to call 911. And if you are in a remote area without Wi-Fi or cell phone service, it can send an SOS signal to a satellite to get you help. The phones that come in 5 colors include blue, purple, and red. They start at $799 for the 14 and $899 for the 14 Plus. The largest and most complex observatory ever deployed in space will now travel through the U.S. mail system. The Postal Service has issued a new stamp featuring the James Webb Space Telescope. A dedication for the stamp was held today at the Smithsonian National Postal Museum. The telescope, which will examine the cosmos, was developed in collaboration with NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center right here in Prince George's County. Well, the eye of the tennis world will be on the U.S. Open tomorrow, and a local Prince Georgian, Francis Tiafoe, it all started for him at the Junior Champion Center in College Park. Byron Scott takes us there.
At the Junior Tennis Champions Center in College Park, there was a deep sense of pride. One of their own, Francis Tiafoe, is flying high on the world stage.
Yes, I knew Francis since he was 5.
Oliver Ockley is one of his coaches.
Him and I, we do a lot of traveling, and we have a lot of history and story to tell. So, I'm so proud of him, whatever he's doing right now.
On Monday at the U.S. Open, 22-seed Tiafoe defeated 2nd seed Rafael Nadal. And yesterday, his defeat over Andrei Rublev made him the first American man since 2006 to make it to the U.S. Open semifinals.
I'm so happy. Why? Because he trained hard for this tournament. He was here a week before U.S. Open. The way he was training and the fitness he was doing, and then the way he's always on the court now. So, and then he goes to U.S. Open and do very well right now. It's unbelievable. It's like a hard work pays off.
He's always very into the community, and he came to play mini tennis with us when we were very little, which was a lot of fun.
Now, Cyrus Majub and Tiafoe trained together. As for Tiafoe's match yesterday against Rublev,
I thought he did pretty incredible. He had a great match before that against Nadal. He really raised his level, did very well, just starting points, serve, return, and I think he just kind of kept going up. He's playing very well, competing very well right now.
Tiafoe has been with JTCC since he was a kid, and the pride he brings to others is an inspiration.
We're all very excited for him. We're all supporting him, and it's definitely motivational to just about everybody. It kind of lets you know that if he can do it, you can do it too.
Byron Scott, CTV News.
Tomorrow, Tiafoe faces number 3 seed Carlos Alcaraz at 3 o'clock. Let's get a quick check now on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, clear skies with a low around 61. Friday, sunny with a high near 81. Saturday, partly sunny with highs near 81 degrees. Sunday, cloudy with rain expected. Daytime temps reaching around 78 degrees. And that wraps up our CTV News update. I'm Taylor Thomas. Good night.